What is up, YouTube? Good morning and welcome to another video. So I know it's been a minute since I caught you up last, and my bad. I've been pretty busy with work and cars breaking and different things, so I don't think I've posted an actual YouTube video since the last drift event. Coincidentally, we have another one next week, so this is going to be a Lock City Drift prep video and some housekeeping on what is going on with the JZ car, black car, yellow car. People keep asking what's been good with especially the JZ car. So that car you've probably seen a couple shorts of. I've been working on it a ton, trying to get it all buttoned up for spring. So right now as it sits, it pretty much just needs the rear subframe done. A couple little here and there things. I got the cooling system all worked out. So it's pretty much subframe. I got to put the subframe spacers in it to drop it down to fit the big drive shaft in. And then that car will be good. The 5 Series car's been good. I was having a weird shake in it for a little bit, and it turned out that the tires were low, so that was just my fault. I hadn't driven it in a few weeks, and I got in and I was like, this feels not right, and it was low tires. So little reminder, check your tires. It's getting cold out, so pressures are dropping. And today we are going to be working on the 3. So I didn't post any follow-up to the last event, and the car did pretty well. I had a few little random issues, so I had to do a control arm at the track, which the night before the event it failed. I think I mentioned that in the actual video. And right after I put the control arm in, the front steering felt kind of off for the whole event. So going back through everything, the control arm mounts were gone. So I got the, well, not gone, they're still there, but you know what I mean. The rubber is just disintegrated 25-year-old rubber. So I got Condor solid ones, and I'm hoping that this makes it so that the ball joints stop failing, because now I've gone through 2 driver's control arms in a year. So I don't know if that's something wrong with the alignment, something wrong with something else, but I got the control arm mounts. We're going to throw them on today, and we'll see what happens. So, played some musical cars, and now we got the banana in the garage. As you can see, I got the wheel already off. Just starting to go through this control arm bushing. So, it's right at the back of the control arm here, connected to the chassis. It's only held in by 2 bolts and then pressed right onto the arm. You can see that this bushing is just wiped out. So, I have these new Condor ones. They have the solid inserts, so this is going to keep the control arm nice and tight, and what I'm going to do, just for the purposes of testing, is put the silver wheels back on the front, because I thought that they were delaminated and plowing, but it turns out the tires actually look all right. So maybe I'm thinking the control arm was wiggling around, and that's what was creating my front steering issue. So just for the to test the theory, we're gonna go ahead and put these on, put the silver wheels back on, and go take a quick trip to Mexico and see what happens. Alrighty, so I already got this off. It's literally just 2 17mm bolts, and as you can see, this bushing is toast. So it has like no resistance to it, which, as you know, bushing should have. So this new one should make quite a bit of an improvement. I'm sure stock would have also made an improvement, but I figured since we've already made everything else solid, we might as well do it to this as well. And we have the bushing off. So you can see the insert is over there. There's a slot cut inside, and I used Dremel with a metal cutting disc. So now what we're gonna do is get the new one on. So I think I should just be able to slip it right on. That's what the YouTube video I watched earlier did. So let's see. Alright, so it wasn't quite as simple as I thought, but at the same time, it wasn't that bad. So what I did to get that bushing on was I used the wood board and the sledgehammer, smacked it most of the way on there. Then I grabbed this socket, which is a American 3/4, but it fit perfectly around the nub that was sticking out from the control arm, popped it on the back there, and was able to use the sledge to pop the bushing the rest of the way on. I know that's not like the exact proper way to do it. You're supposed to use bushing pullers and whatnot, but I didn't have one, so I made do with what I had. So one side is done. Gonna throw the silver wheel on, and we're gonna call this side a wrap, and time to get to the other side. All right, so side 1 is all together now. As you can see in there, we got the bushing nice and tight. Got the wheel on, so still gotta put the center cap on, torque the wheels down, but onto the other side. I already have the arm dropped down. It's soaking in some knocker loose. And we should have it out shortly. So I'll give you a quick update once it's out, then I'll put the new one on. We'll take it out for a test drive. I think Jeff is going to be here in a few minutes, so yeah, should be a good time. All right, and as you can see, I got the second one in. I just got to finish tightening the bolts up. These things, not too bad to install. They're kind of a pain in the butt. It took me a total of maybe an hour and a half. So now all we got left is tighten those down the rest of the way, put the wheels on, torque them down, and we're gonna go do a little street test. Alrighty, so we have the control arm mounts in. Both the wheels are fully torqued down and everything. It doesn't look like it messed with my alignment at all, so we're gonna take it out for a quick drive, get some food, and see how it performs. But it's definitely nice to not have play in the front wheels anymore, even when not moving, so I hope that it translates to while driving too. Right, welcome back to another one, guys. So it's the next day. I got the doggo out here. The car's back in the garage. The testing did not go exactly as planned yesterday, so I was going to get some lunch in it and did like 2 clutch kicks and snapped an axle. So at least it happened before the event, not at the event. It would have been a pain if on one of my first runs I got out there and snapped an axle. So it's the passenger side axle. I luckily have a set of spares, so what we're gonna do right now, jack the car up, do the axles, and then also in this car I deleted the DISA valve a while ago when I thought I was having vacuum issues. So this car hasn't had DISA in probably like a year, which is something I should probably put back in. So if I have time, I'm gonna get to that, as well as helicoiling those 2 bolts on the valve cover that keep loosening up because they stripped the threads. And that's about it. The only other thing that I might potentially do is the PCV valve might be going, so I might just vent it to atmosphere for the time being and cap it on the intake, but that's not really a necessity. I just feel like I smell some burning oil, so we're gonna do those front valve cover studs. If that doesn't get rid of that oil smell, because it could also just be dripping down onto the exhaust when I'm accelerating. But it's kind of strange. It's only on acceleration I smell oil, so gonna do those, gonna do the axle, potentially do the PCV, maybe do the DISA, depends on how much time we have, and we're gonna get the doggo out for a walk when it's still nice and light out, because I feel bad. Every day I bring him out for a walk, it starts to get dark as we're out there, even though it's like 3 o'clock, so, and we aren't able to do the after work walks anymore, so trying to definitely get some time cut out during the day to make him nice and happy. So let me get to work on this and I will give you updates as we go. Alrighty, so here is said replacement axle. There is the blown one. Let me show you how bad it is. Yeah, I don't really know how that happened because, as you all know, hi buddy, this car is an M42, so it makes about 140 horsepower on a good day. And somehow it blew the 328 axle, but not a big deal. We have spares, so gonna toss it in and hope that we're good to go. Alrighty, so quick update. We got the old axle out. As you know, E36 axles are pretty easy to get out. It's just those 6 E12 bolts. And then the one on the end here. So I actually had a weird nut on the end for a very long time. I don't know if this is OEM or not. It's like a 12 point, but it was a very strange size. So what's nice about these ones is it's a normal 6 point. I think it's a 32 millimeter. I gotta double check. But I have one for both sides, so I'm gonna throw those on and then smack the lips so that they get nice and locked in, torque them to spec, and hopefully we don't blow any more axles. So if you're familiar with the E36 axles here, they have the 6 bolts and the little spacer things for them. So what I did was I wiped these ones off because they were covered in the old axle grease, and I always put a little dab of Loctite on them, just because when drifting and with the welded diff and everything being solid in the rear, it seems like they like to back out a little bit. So I just put a dab of Loctite on there. And also, if you've never seen one of these, the electric little 3/8 ratchet, it comes in clutch when doing axles and all these small jobs, because doing these bolts is usually a pain in the butt because the threads are fairly long. It takes a little while to get them out. Alrighty, so Rear end is all taken care of. I bolt checked everything just to be safe for the event. I switched both sides nuts to those. They're actually 36 millimeter nuts, and I took off the 12 point ones just because it's a little easier, and those ones had already been used with the like pin to stake them. So I put the new ones on, staked them, torqued them to spec, so everything there should be good. The axle and all the bolts are in. I bolt checked the whole rear. I'm gonna go grab a paint marker because for the longest time I've been meaning to mark all the bolts just so I don't have to bolt check it every single event. And then I want to go through the front one more time, double check everything up there is still tight because yesterday, even though I didn't really do too much sliding, I did do a little bit of driving, so I want to make sure that those mounts down there are nice and tight. I think they are. Everything felt good. I do have to get, I think it's this wheel repaired, but I don't think I'm going to get that done before the event. It has a slight shake to it because it's a little bent, but we're just going to rock it as is for the time being. What's up, YouTube? So today we're back at it working on the 318 a little bit more. Tomorrow is Lock City, so I actually plan on having this video up well before now. It'll probably be up tonight, hopefully. And what we're doing is putting bigger spacers on the front. And as you can see, I got the bolts here in the valve cover. I used a helicoil kit. Let me show you that. It's literally like the most generic AutoZone brand you can get, or I think it was Advanced Auto I got it at. Called Fix-A-Thread, M6x1. Part number's right there if you need. It's literally just these little helicoil inserts, and you use the tap on the T thing. You tap the screw hole, and then you use this. You put the helicoil on the end, insert it in, and you can screw the caps. So like I said, no drilling required, super easy. Got the caps back in, and we are not leaking oil up front, so that's a good sign. And next thing we got to do is throw those spacers on. I'm going to steal the studs off of the 5 Series for at least 2 of the wheels. Put them on the front because I don't trust the 35 millimeter or 30 millimeter extended lugs that came with them. So just going to throw the studs on, and honestly this is more of a track car. I don't really know why I put them on this other than I hate the lug little like BMW ones with a passion, so I wanted to do it on all of them, but they're super expensive, so haven't gotten to this car yet. All right, so new spacers were kind of a fail. They were still rubbing, so I ended up stacking spacers with how long these lugs are, or the studs. So they are normal, like solid studs that bolt into the hub. Full clearance now, no rubbing, so it's better. I don't love that it has stacked spacers. I'm gonna check those very regularly at the track because I don't want that to be an issue. But other than that, no rubbing, so that's a good sign. And now time to do the other side, and we'll be good to go. So the track is pretty wild looking. It sticks out far, so I don't know. At least we won't be rubbing. I think that's what my main issue was last time. So all right, so that took quite a bit of messing with, but we got there. I'm not sure if it's gonna rub. This side seems to be like a hair lower than the other. Might just be a bad adjustment in the coils, or the fenders might not be rolled evenly. So what I'm gonna do now is I got to still switch the wheels on, or switch the spacers on this car. So what I'm gonna do is put the big spacer in the rear, take the little spacer, put it up front, put the 18 back on. And then we're gonna have pretty much matched fitment on this car. So for the longest time, the rear wheels have been sunk in very far. It's an E34 thing. So now they should be even with a 15 mil on the front and a 25 on the rear. So I'm gonna jack the rear up, do that real quick, and we're gonna be in business. So then I'll take this for a street test, and we'll make sure there's no rubbing. And yeah, should be just vacuum the car, clean it out, pack up, and we're ready. Alrighty, so this is gonna be the end of the video. As you can see, it's dark. I've been working on the car pretty much all afternoon. I ended up not running the stacked spacer setup because it was kind of sketchy. It was making my steering shimmy.
lines with the bros and the shit. And we roll with the cars and it goes like, I don't wanna be lonely tonight. Don't wanna be lonely tonight. Don't wanna be lonely. So I spend some time with my homies. I don't wanna be lonely tonight. Don't wanna be lonely tonight. Don't wanna be lonely. So I go and spend some time with my motherfucking homies.